How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Pokemon Masters Council, a competitive Pokemon podcast and YouTube channel. We are on episode 28 of the podcast. I finally nailed one.
There it is.
I didn't have to just guess or give up on what episode it was. Justin, what's up, man?
Hey, same stuff, man. Really happy to be here. It was a little bit hot yesterday, but today it's just pretty nice weather. So we got a lot to talk about, a lot of news and stuff like that. But before we get into it, just going to talk about our, we've been up to for the past couple weeks, our hobbies and other things.
Yeah,
life.
Yeah. Yep.
So, catch up. But today for the main subject, what are we going to talk about?
We're going to be talking about the Pokemon Go release for Pokemon TCG. That's going to be our main subject. I don't know what to call it because this is our first time experiencing. I wouldn't call it like a subset.
Yeah, it's like
it's like a promotional
celebrations. It's like a mini set.
Yeah, like Shining Fates.
Yeah.
Champion's Path was also a set like this. Celebrations, like you had mentioned. I think those are the ones. But we have not been...
It's coming out in between the 3-month cycle.
We have not been in the game long enough to know how this works. What to call it. Yeah. So,
but we're excited because there's a lot of good stuff to talk about, obviously, because a couple of your favorites of all time, Mewtwo, Dragonite, lots of cool stuff
Mewtwo's the poster boy for this. We're finally getting some Mewtwo love.
Yeah.
He might finally be good in a format because
we're ready to go for this. It's super hype.
He's terrible in VGC. So, all right, yeah. So
Father's Day between last podcast, last episode 27, and today we had Father's Day. Obviously, you're a dad.
Yeah.
Sport Ninja Dougie's a dad. So a lot of dad love. Shout out to all the fathers out there in the PMC crew. What else you been up to?
Well, I had that camping trip.
Up north.
Yeah, so that went really well. We made a little.
Did you see your sister?
No, I didn't. For anyone who knows, I've got 3 sisters, and one of them lives.
We each have
north.
Very big families of siblings.
Yeah.
Both of our dads had a good time in their life.
Yeah. My sister complained that I didn't see her.
Yeah, I figured she would.
She did, yeah.
You were up here, you didn't stop?
In public, too. She went on my Instagram and was like...
Oh, no.
Yeah, she was on my Instagram. She was like...
She called you out?
Yeah, she was like, whenever my family comes up here, they don't come and visit me. I was like, well, I was busy...
Throwing some frisbees.
Which I did a lot of. It went really well.
Did you get rained out?
No.
Hey, there we go. Because last time,
yeah. But the first night we were supposed to go up to Sheboygan, and it predicted a lot of rain there. So we kind of just did this.
Played it by ear a little, or
yeah. So Panzer Tank actually booked the campsites. But then he canceled it because he didn't want to get rained on. So we stayed further south.
Gotcha.
And then we went further north the next day.
Gotcha.
Which is funny because he ended up paying overall for all the camping. He ended up paying like $100.
Oh, that's not bad.
And I drove, and we spent $100 in gas.
Hey, there you go.
Rest in peace to gas prices.
Yeah, don't even.
But so it ended up working out, because we were trying to figure out, let's figure out how much the gas costs and all this, and it was like, we'll just call it a wash. So yeah, it really the trip really set my game in the right place because we played 4 rounds of disc golf, and it really sharpened everything. Playing all that disc golf all within 2 days or 3 days, however much.
Yeah.
Really
gotta get on that grind.
Yeah, because I got a tournament on Sunday.
Yeah.
This Sunday, so that really set me in the right direction. And then just Father's Day, hung out with the kids. We had breakfast and dinner out on the back patio because the weather was really nice. It was like 75 degrees.
Perfect. It was nice and breezy.
Yep. Took
Not
the kids
too
out.
hot.
Yeah. Took the kids out to the beach, to one of the local lakes, and it's the lake that warms up faster than
shallow.
everything. Yeah. It's like 5 feet deep, like the whole. It's a huge lake too, but it's like
it gets deep out in certain parts, but you can walk halfway out there and you're just up to your ankles.
Yeah. So the water was super warm. It was really nice. I actually went back the next day when it was 90 degrees and the water felt a lot colder because it was the water's 70 degrees or something like that, but the air was 95 degrees, so it was quite the stark contrast. So yeah, I had a good Father's Day. I had a good camping trip. I'm prepping and getting ready for the next disc golf tournament that I've got going on Sunday, so wish me luck in that. This is the Myers State Games.
Yeah.
Myers Summer Games.
So we hung out for a little bit for our PMC crew. We did a little pre-Father's Day.
Yeah.
We went over to to Mike's. So PMC Joseph G. We went over to Mike's house. Mike and Amanda went to their house. They invited us over for a barbecue. Had some burgers and hot dogs. Played a bunch of yard games. Had some.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
had
we
some
played
alcoholic
some yard games.
beverages. Brandon and I ran the house.
Yep. I was gonna say who won every game.
What did we play? We played
Ladder ball.
ladder ball. We played cornhole.
And then I super smoked Doug's wife in cornhole. Sorry.
Yeah,
And then
yeah. Poor Jen.
I super smoked Mike in cornhole.
Yep.
I told him, I was like, dude, don't challenge me.
We were heating up, bro.
Don't challenge me to these obscure games.
We just needed another beer and we were ready to go.
I'm a disc golfer, dude.
Yep.
Like, you think I'm not gonna excel at these weird, obscure yard games?
I know. Next time we gotta bust out the bocce ball. That'll be the where the men separate from the boys, as it were.
But keep going.
No, yeah. It was just a super fun time. It was really good. We did it on Saturday because you and I both had that day off.
Yeah.
So we were able to just kind of hang out, and then obviously Sunday everybody did their family stuff. So it was kind of cool just to hang out with the crew.
Yeah.
So everybody showed up. Obviously, the main four of us. So it was obviously myself, you, Mike, and Doug. So Joseph G and Sport Ninja for people that are following the channel or watch our Unite coverage.
Yep.
It was just a really good day. It was perfect weather. It was not too hot. It was just primo. Mm-hmm. So really good. Other than that, for the channel, we've been working on some stuff. So we finally have been testing out our Dialga deck. It's undefeated so far because it's pretty crazy with the new Magnezone.
Who knew that Dialga would actually be good?
It's so crazy good.
Like whether or not you go Magnezone, who knew?
Yeah,
I had no hope for that card.
Yep,
none at all.
But we've been having fun with it so far. Yep. But in terms of what we've actually published, we put out the Lilligant video. Yes. That was a lot of fun.
Yep.
Super, super good deck.
Did we put out Samurott between last podcast and this?
I think Samurott might have been out right before, but yeah, Samurott's out on the channel too.
Yeah.
We'll definitely plug that one. Those are our two main squeezes.
Yep.
Dialga's on deck. We've got a couple things we're working on. You've got an Arceus Glaceon deck. I've got a really fun Weirdeer and Ludicolo deck.
Yeah.
So we've got a bunch of fun stuff for Astral Radiance. Having a great time. Other than that, you've got a tournament coming up. So do I in July for my other hobby. In Warhammer, and this past weekend was a huge weekend for us. It was the brand new start of our new season.
Yep.
So for TCG and stuff, we do 3 months.
Yes.
They'll do a new set like Astral Radiance and then Lost Origin, whatever. So it's sort of like that. So it's like capture the flag. So it's where the flags are, how you score, everything is just Etch-a-Sketch. Start over. So it's a brand new game for the next 6
shock
months.
To the system. Huge shock to the system.
Yeah, they used to do it every July or June, July, every summer, once a year. This is the first, so it's a book. It's called The General's Handbook.
Okay.
But they used to do it once a year. Now this is the first time where they're doing it 6-month seasons. So we'll get another one around Christmas time. Mm-hmm. So a lot of new stuff, a lot of new info, and got a new tournament coming up. Mine's not this week. It's about 3-4 weeks away in July. But, really, really excited, really happy about it. Other than that, I'm just absorbing about 1 billion pieces of information at once. There's a lot, but it's cool.
It's a good thing that game doesn't rotate every 3 months like cards. It'd be impossible.
There's no way.
It'd be impossible. Because we had a little conversation about how I find it hard for me, in my personality, to keep up with all the changes in VGC, TCG, Smogon, Unite even patches.
Yeah.
Patches, characters changed, things that are viable changed, and then you've got Warhammer on top of all that, which is even more complicated than anything that we've mentioned.
All those combined, and it's just I'm the idea guy.
Yeah,
my brain's always going, isn't it?
Yeah, for real.
So let's get into some news. So we had, speaking of tournaments and stuff, we had a whole bunch of stuff going on in the Pokemon world.
Yeah, let's get into it. Let me shrink us here. Well, let me make sure I've got the right web page, guys. Let's do that first. Okay, yeah. So let's talk about the VGC side of things first, because
you got a nice Kanto rep there. Spoiler alert.
We do have a nice Kanto rep.
Oh boy!
So
Brandon, what's your favorite Kanto starter?
That would be Venusaur.
That'd be Venusaur. So this is 2 podcasts in a row that Zacian is not first place or second.
Mm-hmm. Or second, yeah. That's
which is notable.
Yeah, it is.
We're making ground here. So this is the second in a row where your boy is taking out the gold.
Yeah.
What do you think, bro? That's insane.
I'm really
super hype.
I'm really happy for my boy.
A PMC absolute staple, a fan favorite for all time. The Green Dong made an appearance.
Bronzong, dude. So here's the unfortunate thing about this whole situation is
at the time of filming this podcast,
there's no coverage.
Yeah.
There's no coverage.
We've been trying to find it.
I don't know if, because we didn't watch the stream. I don't know if they...
Because work and family, Father's Day,
right.
yeah.
Well, and I don't even know if they had a stream.
Yeah.
You know?
But we've been trying to look for VODs. We've been trying to find everything, and we just can't be able to find the day 2 of the VGC. There's TCG, there's everything. We've seen all the coverage. But so we're not really sure in terms of like what the team but oh my goodness, is it exciting to think about what it could be. So I'm assuming the Bronzong could be Ally Switch, maybe Trick Room.
Yeah, I would think so, because when you look at the team,
could be Trick Room to gain speed advantage if somebody is accelerating with like a Tailwind, which again they have they have Whimsy,
right? And
you see the Clef there, so obviously that'll be the oh goodness, what is her ability? The Friend Guard or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Follow Me, stuff like that. So we can assume what the sets were, but it would have been cool to see it play out.
I know, especially the Bronzong. Like the Bronzong, I think is the biggest thing here that is kind of making us...
That's a flex.
Yeah, that's huge
super
flex.
Cool, right?
You never would have thought
so awesome.
Bronzong would be taking a gold. And this is a...
Yeah.
So I'm excited. And once again, we kind of talked about this.
I don't know if we stated, but this is Milwaukee Regional.
Yeah, Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin, USA.
So we kind of talked about this last time. We talked about the result in the last podcast. We're starting to see the meta change a little bit, finally.
Yeah, a bit of diversity now.
Yeah, the more specialized
the closer to Worlds, the more... Yeah, you mentioned Toolbox.
Yeah. The specialized teams, they're beating out the kind of, I don't want to say brain dead. That's not the word I'm looking for, but the whole.
But it's Zacian.
But the run fast, hit hard, do
Zacian and Kyogre.
Yeah. Like those weather teams are starting to fall down and take a backseat to teams that are built to counter them specifically.
Yes.
So like all these teams have.
I like the double Lecky.
Yeah. Yeah,
super interesting. I'm assuming it's there obviously for Kyogre control.
Probably.
That would be my guess.
It's probably spec'd in a way where just
maybe Eerie Impulse. Could be screens.
Yeah, because Eerie Impulse is that we talked about this last week too. Eerie Impulse is making a kind of a big resurgence because it really shuts down Kyogre.
And it also shuts down other things in the meta like Lunala and Yveltal, which you see a lot of.
Yeah.
Yveltal not so much, obviously, just in this specific case, but Lunala has been popping up in the past, I think, 3 podcasts.
Yeah, I think
there's been at least 2 or 3 Lunalas in the top 10 minimum. There's 3 here.
Yep.
Or between the 2 Lunalas and the Yveltal, not to mention the Kyogres. Do you know what I mean? There's 4 there's another Yveltal. Do you see what I mean? So like those Alekis are just putting in mad work. There's all these genies, like if there's Charizards.
Yeah, because if these are Defiant,
correct,
then they're putting in work on them.
So the Regieleki is a great pick right now. Obviously, that's my number 1 favorite Reggie out of the whole bunch.
Really?
Oh yeah.
You like Regieleki the most?
Yeah, I love it. Well, because like he's just got the crazy 200 speed. Let's go!
I just hate the way his arms look. He literally looks like a ball of lettuce.
Yeah,
I literally named him Lettuce.
Oh yeah, I like it though because like in the animations in the game, they fan out and there's all electric. So like in the animation, it looks better than his still frame. I will admit. But yeah, he's my favorite Reggie. It'd be either him or I've got a real soft spot for Reg Ice.
I was gonna say I like Reg Ice.
Reg Ice is always really cool. Just though he's just like this block geometric shape. I really like it.
Reg Ice and Reggie Rock,
super cool. Reggie Rock's real nice.
They're like the most believable of all the Reggies.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like they look like something that would
like
just
a totem.
Yeah, like they look like something that was just like Reggie Rock looks like he would just peel out of a mountain. Like eyeballs.
He would just stand up.
Yeah, like but Reggie Steel, Regieleki, Reggie...
Almost like they had to be made or something.
Yeah, it's not like... it's not like...
And Reggie Drago's just like this weird...
Yeah, like how does Reggie Drago have it? You know?
It just happens, yeah.
So, Yeah, like we
It
said,
is cool to see some diversity, though. Rounding it back to the more competitive side of the conversation, what you were saying, I do think it is really nice to see the meta start to diversify on the cusp of Worlds. Obviously, we're like less than 2 months away.
Yeah, we're getting really, really close. I think September, early September.
Yeah, I think it's either August or September. Yeah.
So it'll be really interesting to see the meta evolve even more. So I think with that, we'll just hop on over to TCG and we'll check out the top 8 decks.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we do not have a deck list for some of these,
but we do have one here that we've actually been messing around with a little bit on the channel, or not behind the scenes. We haven't filmed it yet, but we've seen 2 in the top 8 here of Duraludon, and that is really, really, really exciting. So Duraludon VMAX is really good. He's important because obviously he has the what's it called, Skyscraper ability. So if you have any special energy attached, you can't touch him.
Yeah.
So.
Which,
Brandon, is there anything in the meta that uses special energy that you can think of?
I can think of Mew VMAX. I can think of Single Strike Urshifu, Rapid Strike Urshifu, Arceus. The list probably goes on.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
There is a lot here. And then obviously his 1 attack is 1 fighting, 2 steel. G-Max Pulverization, 220 damage, and it is not affected by effects on your opponent's active Pokemon.
So it can go through like Decidueye.
So it can go through Decidueye, it can go through Miltank, and that's obviously what we see here in this matchup. Super exciting if you want to go back to the thing. Second place.
Yeah, second place, Miltank.
Oh, boy. Fat Cow. Shout out here to Dougie. He loves Miltank. It's one of his favorite pokes of all time. The Fat Cow. So obviously here being like we mentioned, Decidueye. What do we got here? What's the importance?
Miracle Body. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon V.
So good.
Yeah.
Now, he doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but you can actually rack it up, and then the Blissey is what actually does the work here. This Blissey deck is insane.
Yeah, Blissey's super annoying.
It's so insane. But again, look at his deck. Lucky Energy, Capture Energy, Double Turbo, Powerful Colorless. Not a single basic energy.
Yeah, there's no basic energy here.
So he can't touch the Duraludon.
Right.
He genuinely can't touch him at all. He just decks out. Like there's literally nothing he can do. There's not an option. So he has to stop the Duraludon from getting evolved, which is not necessarily an easy thing. And if he does, it's just game over.
So he's got some fun picks here. We obviously got the Dunsparce.
Correct, for the Blissey and the Miltank.
You got the Radiant Greninja to discard energy for Blissful Blast, because obviously with Blissful Blast, for 1 energy you use it, and then you can attach up to 3 energies from the discard pile. More energies makes Blissey more powerful.
Correct.
And then Yveltal here to discard up to 3 special energy from your opponent's Pokemon.
Which is pretty cool.
Pretty strong. And he's got a Tornadus.
Which I really like this Tornadus. It's a sudden Cyclone.
Yeah.
So it's a free gust, basically.
Yep. I think your opponent gets to choose. Yep, you may have your opponent switch. So, but it's still pressure.
It'll work like a escape rope.
Yeah, yep. But it's still, you know what I mean? Every time someone plays escape rope on you, you got to sit there and think like, okay, what am I okay with losing here?
Yeah, because they're trying to gain tempo.
And another fun thing is he's got switch carts. All of his Pokemon are basic. There are no evolution Pokemon.
Oh, so he's running the new cart.
Yep. So he's got the cart, so he's doing some healing.
Lots
there.
Of healing. He's got the Hyper Potion. He's got Sharon's Care.
He's got more. He's got Cape of Toughness.
And we have the T-Meow Towel.
Yep. The 4 Path to the Peak. So.
Interesting.
It says Radiant Pokemon rule, but I don't know if that's a rule box or not. So I wasn't sure if Path to the Peak shuts off concealed cards or not. But either way.
A really cool matchup though for the finals, and also in the top 8, seeing there is some diversity in the top 8. There's only I think maybe 1 Mew.
Yep, just 1.
And then there is some, obviously a lot of Arceus and Teleon, but the fact that we are seeing things like Blissey and Miltank, and then we're seeing the Duraludons pop up here is really, really cool.
Got a Palkia deck. I think this is the deck that did really well. Potentially at the last regional?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is something that we will be covering on the channel. We're just waiting for the market to calm down just a tad because people are out of their minds at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not paying 40 packs for our Origin Palkia V-Star when I could just run Arceus to accelerate my energy with damage.
But 4 Arida is kind of insane.
Yeah.
So you grab a water poke and an item card.
It does make a difference, though.
It does. 4 Aridas is a lot, though.
Yeah, they're running a Nessa, a Cheryl. 4 is a lot.
I do like the Nessa because they're running the Cheryl.
But with this deck, you go second, so you can use Arida to grab your Battle VIP pass. So you can get
Correct.
3 to 4 Pokemon on the board.
Correct. Now, what's interesting here is that we've been seeing a lot of people talk about, whether it be on YouTube or on the actual ladder itself, we've seen people play and talk about the fact that Palkia pairs really well right now with good old sipping on Calyrex Ice.
Yes.
And we don't see it here, though. It's just a straight-up Palkia deck.
Yeah, I don't think there is. I don't think there's any.
Calyrex.
I don't think there's any Calyrex at all.
Yeah,
but it's coming.
Yeah,
it's on the way up. We've been.
I do like the Nessa plus Cheryl.
Yeah,
really really good with that combo there. Yep. Especially because you're playing the V-Star, which can already grab energy out of it. So like you have lots of ways that like Cheryl's actually a great slot there because healing up all that back to full, that could be detrimental. That could be just straight up, checkmate.
Yeah, exactly. Like we've been up against that kind of play before, and it ended up, you know what I mean, making a difference. So
and I want to see, is he playing Melanie?
Two Melanie?
No, not that stack. The Palkia. Sorry.
I would assume so. I think they all kind of play. Yep.
Okay, two Melanies and 4 Aridas. I would personally have thought that it would be maybe a little bit weighted towards Melanie, but that's interesting that he's running so heavily on the Arida.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's going to pull that out with Star Portal, so.
Correct. And we do have the one Luminion, obviously, and your boy pulling up here, right at the bottom. There it is.
Skrrr!
Let's go.
Starmie V,
Who called it? Who called it?
Me.
He's such a good flex pick.
Yeah.
It really, even in testing, we have found such good, because like he's sort of like the single prize Moltres in a way. He's like that counter punch type of slot or role in the deck.
Yep.
Because like if your opponent starts to get set up, Starmie just comes in and sets them straight and be like, listen, this is my house.
Think twice.
This is my house, son. And it's super dope.
Free retreat cost.
Yeah. Which is actually one of my favorite things about him because he's squishy.
Yeah.
190 is insanely fragile.
Yes, it is.
But he's cheap and he's no retreat cost on print.
Yep.
Don't need to worry about switches or balloons. That's just so much free mental space.
Yep.
Because he just does what you need to. Mm-hmm. Sort of like the Jolteon. So
exactly.
Really big fan of the Starmie V, obviously. Hopefully we'll get to pop off with our own Starmie V on the channels quite soon.
Yep, I have a deck. We've
got a couple builds. But we don't use that Starmie. You have to stay tuned to see which the good Starmie.
Yep. All right, so
are we ready to talk about there's one more tournament, I think, for a piece of news, but it's a different regional. It's not Milwaukee.
Yeah, it is the Pokemon Unite Regional Finals, and I believe this was held in North America.
Yeah, so this is basically like the NA Regionals going towards Worlds.
Yeah.
So basically this is like the national championships.
I think this was the last Pokemon Unite event until World Championship.
I believe so too.
Which will be at the same Worlds as VGC and
which
TCG.
We're getting hyped for. Lots of coverage. Stay tuned. Obviously, check us out on YouTube.
Dude, Pokemon Worlds is going to be crazy.
Check us out on Spotify. We're going to have so much coverage. We're going to have a lot of fun.
We might have to talk about Worlds every day.
Yeah.
About the things that we're seeing because, dude, it's going to be crazy because we're going to have
so much information.
Unite, Go, which we don't care about, but it's still cool that it's there.
TCG, VGC.
And VGC.
There's all
of these communities are just going to be exploded into this one place. It's just going to be big old Pokemon fest. It's going to be kind of sick.
So, yeah, it was pretty cool to see Spraggles do the commentary.
I know. We were
less than a year, and this dude is just popping off.
We're pretty jealous.
Yeah.
We want to get to that point. That'd be pretty cool.
Really awesome.
All you got to do is subscribe to get us to that point. That's all it takes.
So, the final matchup, it was Black Hand versus IX Gaming. Spoiler alert, Black Hand won.
Yes.
And it was, especially the final match, was pretty handily won.
Yeah, and
It was pretty one-sided, the final game.
And after we dig into the team
For sure.
comps, we'll talk about what we think were the difference makers for Black Hand over IX Gaming.
Definitely, because I have some subjective opinions.
I have some thoughts.
I'm a gym leader, baby, and I was so happy. Let's go.
I have some thoughts.
So I guess we just start right in here, and let's talk about the fully realized Pokemon in the room that showed up not on one but both teams. Not only a top 10 for my boy Zero here on the PMC, but a top 3.
Mm-hmm.
Harpuya himself.
Harpuya.
Dragonite came in on both squads.
Did not expect that.
And it was Hyper Beam build for both, which is our preferred build right now.
I did not expect Dragonite to just come out of nowhere and be on both teams. It makes such a presence.
Because he fills into that, like, mid-ranged attacker, like, ranged autos, and it's just so powerful, even though he's an all-rounder. We said it when he came out. The fact that he's the first all-rounder with ranged autos is going to make a difference. He'll feel like a marksman, and that's exactly how I play him. That's how you play him right now with Dragon Dance Hyper Beam, and you're just shooting off those purple fireballs, and you deal so much damage. There's so much mobility with his ultimate. I mean, we could talk for days.
Right. So like you said, he made it onto both teams. The other two Pokemon that made it onto both teams are
no surprise.
No surprise. It's Hoopa and Blissey.
Yeah.
So Dragonite, Hoopa, Blissey made made both teams.
Yep.
All three of them.
So let's talk about the differences.
Yeah. So
IX Gaming, they had the brand new Broken Poke.
Not Lucario. He's always broken. Absol.
Yeah, they had Lucario, and then they had the Absol in the jungle.
Yep. So that was the first difference. And then the other difference is
Black Hand
had
no coincidence here that they won, and they had the double grass combo with Trevenant and Serena.
Yes.
And now this is the new Serena, so it is technically the nerfed Stomp Serena, but they were still going the Stomp build.
They still went Stomp.
And they stomped.
Yeah.
It was like the ultimate is still really, really good for picking people out. That single target damage, it also lifts people up away from objectives and or goals.
Yep.
Really powerful poke. They tried. IX really tried to capitalize and shut down the Serena, and it just wasn't enough.
So would you say that you think that Serena was the difference maker? Remember, it was stacking Serena. It took a lot.
Yeah, it was.
It got KO'd early a lot.
I don't think that Serena made that much of a difference. I honestly think, not trying to be, not trying to steal your thunder, but I think Harpuya made a huge difference because maybe it was just the skin. Maybe it was the fact that he had the boxer skin. But, that Dragonite took, 2 or 3 objectives with Hyper Beam
in the final game, it took both, 2.
For sure, one Dread and one Rotom
took
in the
first
early
two,
game.
First 2 Dreadnoughts.
Which is huge. Which is so big. And they were a quarter HP. And he just...
Yep. So, you know what, actually, you're going to think this is crazy. I think Trevenant was the bigger difference maker. I think Trevenant is the reason that they won because their team was...
We had a bulk.
He was better rounded.
Yeah, we had a tank.
Because they've got because Black Hand has the range damage with Dragonite, and they have the close range damage with Serena. They had a long range poke.
Yeah.
And
so they went double assassin with Lucario Absol, which don't get me wrong, the Absol did work early.
Yes.
But they weren't able to shut down the Dragonite. They put all their focus on shutting down the Serena, and the Dragonite just hyper carried.
And I think
the Dragonite did great, and even the Trevenant for the first half of the game was had the most points in the team.
I think the sustain of Trevenant is just
he's so good.
He can just sit there and shrug off all of your damage.
You played him recently, and you were really impressed.
Loved him. I'm glad.
One of your favorite tanks ever. Even.
Yeah.
He's so fun to play now with the new tweaks, buffs, everything that they've done to smooth him out a bit.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, he's in a great bop.
So so congrats to Black Hand.
Yep.
That was really cool, and I'm looking forward to the World Championships, man.
Very hyped.
It's gonna be wild. I might have to take some. Well, I mean, I don't really work weekends, but it's gonna be crazy, dude. We're gonna have to not make any plans.
Yeah.
So, I think. They're gonna cover it. Should we go get some coffee and then we'll come back?
Yeah, let's get a refill.
We'll dive.
I'm out of coffee.
All right, cool.
And we'll talk about Mewtwo and more Dragonite And everything else with the Pokemon Go TCG set.
No, we're not talking about anything else. We're just talking about Mewtwo and Dragonite. Alright guys, talk to you in a minute. Well, it's a good thing that we don't live stream our podcast because we were gone for a really long time.
We took a lunch break.
Yeah, we went and got lunch. It's been like an hour. But
that's all right. We're back, and we're on to the main topic of the podcast this week. Mm-hmm. So, Brandon, got some super exciting news. So today we are going to be talking about the Pokemon Go set release. So on this podcast release, we're going to be just on the cusp of it. It'll actually be releasing July 1st, but all the information is out, so we're talking about it now.
Yep.
So that way when it does come out, we can just start putting out videos of our deck builds, because we got somebody, pun intended, I guess, on deck. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. He's going to be debuting probably day one or week one for sure.
Hopefully
week one for sure.
Yeah, at least we got Mewtwo. Mewtwo V, baby.
Mewtwo V and V-Star.
Let me, let's, before I shrink this down and we start showing off some cards. You mentioned July 1st, right?
Yeah.
It's coming out July 1st.
So it's like a week-ish from this podcast.
So I got a question for you. I'm going to ask you live. Should I pre-order my Pokemon Go box, or should I just walk into GameStop and try to buy one?
If you can be there when they open,
I'll be there like 30 minutes after they open.
That's fine. You should be able to get one.
Think so?
Well, because like you need to have this. If it was Sceptile,
yes,
I'd buy two.
Two?
I'd buy one and open it, and I'd buy another one and I'd put it on this wall, and I'd have it as a fancy thing, and I'd just leave it there. You know what I mean? As like a backdrop eventually, and I would just keep it as like a collector's item because it's my favorite Pokemon of all time, and it finally got like a full release for itself, and I would just have it as like a collector's item.
Well, I got this Brilliant Stars box, and like if I take all the cards out, so I got all my junk cards in here. If I take all these out, it's got this prop in here, and you can stand it up like it was like,
yeah.
But I don't think I got the kind of self-control to not open two Elite Trainer boxes.
No, I wouldn't open the other one. I would literally buy it with the purpose of it being on the shelf for years, and then being as like a collector's item on an unopened Sceptile box from day one. For me, I wouldn't, because like if I would budget that out in my own mind, because money's
right.
For everybody.
It is important, yes.
So, and money is, everybody has their own budgets for how they do stuff, right?
Yep.
So, it's to each their own. No man should ever reach in another man's pocket, conversationally or otherwise.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, for me, I would like, because I'm a collector, I play Warhammer, you see my DVD collection. So for me, I would love to have, in 10 years, an unopened day one collector's edition of the Sceptile. Do you see what I mean?
I would have to debate that.
So,
one.
like, how much would it be? $20?
I think they're like 40.
40? Okay.
I'm planning on spending 40 per box.
Okay, 40 per box. I would spend that knowing that that's the point of it, is to not open it.
All right.
Do you see what I mean? So I'd go, it's like setting expectations, but for me, because like that would look so good on my shelf for forever, because any nerd ever would be like, bro, do you see what I mean?
There'd be a conversation, but it's like, you got to open this.
No, that's
probably a Mewtwo V-Star in
like
there.
a glass case type thing. Because like if you want something, just go on eBay and spend the $5 and get it.
Right.
Do you see what that's my perspective? Why risk having that collector's item on my shelf when you know what I mean? If I need like, you could have opened this and got that. Why don't you just go buy it on eBay? For me personally.
You know what worries me about ordering one online? Like, I've seen and heard horror stories, and I've seen pictures on Reddit of, like, the boxes being destroyed in transit.
Yeah.
Or I've literally seen people have had boxes delivered to them opened.
Yep.
Someone
jacked their stuff.
Somebody at some point in the delivery process opened up their box, took all the cards out of it, and just sent them the box. Like, I've literally seen it. And they've ordered them from Pokemon Center, like the official Pokemon store, and that stuff's happened. So that makes me really nervous. But I also just nervous about not getting one if I walk in there. But I don't think it's a.
I don't think so, especially with that early in the morning. Just go right in there.
Yeah, and I think if I don't get one from GameStop, I think I should still be able to find one online. I'm hoping.
Definitely.
So, if any of you do Pokemon cards and you think that I'm crazy for waiting, you think I should pre-order, let me know in the comments because I want to know. I want to make sure I've got one. I'll probably do a video opening it. But if I don't get any cool hits, I don't know if I'll post it. We'll see.
So I guess for the main subject today, we're going to be talking about. We sort of talked about like how to do this because you know what I mean. We're not obviously going to go over every single card. It's not worth it. But we have done that off camera.
Yes.
We've spent hours on this. We've talked about different ideas and stuff like that. Basically, we made like a winners and losers sort of thing. The haves and have-nots of the Go set. So we're going to play a little game of. We're just going to go through some of the big staples that we've picked out, and we're going to talk about how we feel and why we feel that way.
Let's talk about the big boy in the room first.
Yeah, I mean, we might as well. Let's get him out the way. So this is the star of the show. This is Brandon's #1 favorite Pokemon of all time. The only reason he wasn't in the any of our top 3 or top 10 artwork is just because he's a legendary.
Yeah.
So
I can't be rolling around with Rayquaza or with Mewtwo, and that'd be a cool art though. That would be cool. Have them like fighting. Anyway,
sweet.
I digress.
So yeah, we've talked about this on the channel before, but for people that are listening, what do we got here? So he's 220 HP, super solid. Purple card.
Yep. 2 energies, super Cybolt, not worried about that. Transfer break for 3 energies. So 2 purple and 1 colorless. 160 damage. That's a really good number to hit.
Especially for just a V that evolves.
Yep. It's not the best number.
No.
But it's solid.
Yep.
And then you move an energy from that Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon. I don't hate that mechanic.
Nope.
In this game.
No, it's not bad here because again, it's still energy acceleration.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And then what do we got for the V-Star? This is the big one.
Yeah, this is the big one, all right? So we got Mewtwo V-Star for 2 energies, 1 psychic and 1 colorless. Psy-Purge 90 times. Discard up to 3 psychic energy from your Pokemon. This attack does 90 damage for each card you discarded this way. The key...
So up to 270 damage.
Up to 270 damage.
Which is just astronomical, right?
It is.
That is so much damage. And the fact that your Mewtwo V can get stuff set up on your bench, you can use things like Underworld Door from the Calyrex VMAX to accelerate energy from your hand to things onto your bench.
Yep.
And you're basically just going to be using all these bench energy as like fodder, so to speak, to just be thrown away.
Yep.
And then maybe we'll pair this with like Clara or, Rods would be really good. Clara's going to be really good here. Clara to go with the Underworld Door could be good. So
I think
we just need a lot of way to get the energy out of the graveyard, which there's plenty of
energy recycler. I think would be the best. I actually think that. So there's not. I don't want to say there's not a good way to put energy on the board, but if Mewtwo's in the active spot,
the fact that it only costs 2,
you'll kind of want to rely on Avery, I think, to start spreading. Or not Avery. I'm sorry, Beady, the other psychic trainer. You'll start relying on him. I think he might actually see some play. For me, day one, that's my first idea.
Definitely going to try him out.
So then I can get 2 more on the board, and then I try to discard the energy from my bench, not my Mewtwo V-Star.
Exactly. Using the bench as our engine, basically.
Yeah. So, that's the next thing we needed to mention is the fact that you can pull that energy from anywhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be from your active Mewtwo. It can be from your bench.
Correct. What do we got for Star Raid? So it's actually an attack.
Yeah.
This is his V-Star power.
And it's a great attack, too. This attack does 120 damage to each of your Pokemon's or your opponent's Pokemon V. This damage is not affected by weakness or resistance. Actually insane.
This same energy cost, 1 purple, 1 white. And so again, what's the #1 keyword in this? So 120 damage
to each.
To every. So Brandon versus Justin here. Brandon is going to do 120 to every single VMAX, and V-Star that I have on my field.
Yep.
That is an insane potential for this attack. Like, it's so good. So, I got a question. What are you thinking about for Star Raid? Are you thinking about spreading damage? Or like, where's your head at here? Are you thinking about like this is like your opening, this is your mid game, this is your closer?
There's two factors to this.
Hit me with it, because this is great.
You can use this to soften up your opponent if you know they don't play healing cards. If they play Cheryl or Sharon's
Like if you're up against Blissey
on PTC Geo, that's hard to know. Mm-hmm. But when you're in an event or something like that, like the same meta decks,
maybe a little bit more rote.
Yeah. So like this, if you're up against an Arceus,
yes, sir,
never open with Star Raid.
You'd be a closer then.
Because they've got Sharon's Care, right? Yeah. It's very common.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're definitely trying to close out a game with this. You're going to try to soften up your opponent's Pokemon with like Calyrex VMAX and V, or what's another good Psychic V Pokemon? Doesn't necessarily even
honestly
need to be
not
Psychic.
Not even Psychic. You know what I'm thinking about for this? This is day one because of how cheap it is, and it's only 1 purple energy. Now, granted, the V takes 2.
Yep.
To do his big attack at 160, and to accelerate to the bench, but the Mewtwo V-Star only takes 1 purple energy. I'm thinking about doing a purple-black deck and mixing your 2 favorites.
Samurott and
Mewtwo? Because you could open with a Star Raid to spread damage to then set up for Samurott to Merciless Blade every turn. Or you could have Samurott be as like your main beat sticks and have Mewtwo V-Star as your checkmate once everything's softened up. That's
not a terrible idea.
That's just sort of one of the ideas that's going through my head, because again, purple and black have very niche but very powerful cards right now, in being the Fog Crystal.
Yes, good point.
And then Piers.
Good point. Also good point.
So being able to run both would potentially, my brain is like, ooh, maybe there's some real sauce there. Do you see what I mean?
That
and they're both cheap.
Yeah.
They're both cheap. Because what's your Merciless Blade? 2 darks?
2 dark, yep.
Okay, so we'd have to maybe run like...
You would need Energy Search for sure.
Yeah, Energy Search. You could even do Arceus, or not even Arceus. You could do. We could do Cotton Lift.
Yeah, Cotton Lift.
Cotton Lift isn't bad.
Yeah, because then you could Underworld Door that.
Correct. Underworld Door. There could be Dark Patch. There could be a.
Look at us brainstorming right on camera.
Yeah. So, and this is one of the things that we want to do for streaming too.
Yeah.
Like we could build decks on stream.
I think Arceus is the easiest answer day one.
Yeah,
I really truly think that's. Psychic Energy and double colorless.
Actually, I have maybe a better option.
Okay, all right. Let's not give away too much tech before we put the deck
It's
out.
actually in here.
Oh, okay. All right.
So we'll talk about that next, and we will jump to special water type. This is a shout out to Sport Ninja. This is Dougie's favorite. We're going to be talking about the Evolution line Blastoise from the Go set. This is the Vitality Spring Blastoise. Get used to hearing this. Vitality Spring, because it's going to be everywhere. Brandon, what does it do?
Once during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 6 energy cards. Doesn't matter what color. And attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. Then
they don't have to be basic either.
Then shuffle your deck. If you use this ability, your turn ends. That's a good point. It doesn't say basic energies.
It doesn't say basic, and it's not color specific. So you literally just... And it doesn't have to be in the active. Yes, it ends your turn, but like that's worth.
Yes.
Up to 6 energy of any kind and any color, and you put them anywhere. That is so... Like, yes, your turn ends. But for me, my brain, you know what the first thing I think of? So, worth. We take those. Insert any one of our PMC slang there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we take those. Yep.
Yeah, we take those.
So, we are obviously putting this in our winners category.
Absolutely. This is the winner out of the 3 evolution lines of the new Kanto. Blastoise definitely won.
I'm going to say one thing about this line of Blastoise. This is the one pushback I'm going to say on this. You don't want to be ending your turns without attacking mid or late game.
Correct. There is a risk. Like, jokes aside, it's not literally nothing.
Yes.
But because it's 6 energy of any kind and any color, the possibility is so... It's not endless, but I mean, it's close. Yeah. That's a lot. in retrospect, you are right.
Yeah, because you would need... This is... For this to be optimal, you would need a Squirtle in your opening hand, which is not that hard. It's Quick Ball, VIP, Battle VIP Pass, Level Ball. So you need a Squirtle.
Just go to the War
bench.
Turtle. What's the HP on the War Turtle here?
90. Well,
that is a level ball.
Well, here's what I'm trying
both.
to say. Here's what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
You need Blastoise turn 2 optimally if you're going to end your turn.
Which is what we're talking about now. We just talked about earlier in the podcast. You can run 4 Arida. So you go grab your rare candy and your Blastoise.
Exactly.
So literally your done deal. Yep. So you're definitely not wrong. But I think you and me are on the same page. Like, yeah, it's definitely not a just insta slow there's some work that needs to be done.
Yes.
But at the same time, they just put out a lot of cards that support this. It's really not outside.
Doable.
Oh, it's definitely not outside of the realm of possibility at all to have this turn 2 or 3.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. So Blastoise, definite winner. What's next, buddy?
So you want to keep talking about some winners?
Yeah, let's roll through all of our winners.
Let's go to the other Blastoise.
Yeah, so we got another winner. Blastoise is winning in every format he's ever been in.
Radiant Blastoise, so Pump Shot. So this is going to be our new Pew Pew.
Yes, exactly. So you must discard a water energy from your hand in order to use this ability. Once during your turn, you may put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Interestingly enough, you cannot shoot the active.
Correct.
So, really cool. Obviously pairs so well with Melanie. Just goes without saying.
And then Torrential Cannon is amazing, actually, for what it is. Like, as just like a single... Because, again, he becomes... anti-Miltank, anti-Decidueye. He one-shots them.
Yeah.
Super easy. So it's actually a really... 150 is a bit squishy.
Yes.
Wouldn't you think so for
yes
Blastoise?
And no. But the cool thing about water Pokemon right now is that electric Pokemon are not that good.
Correct.
So you don't run the risk
not
of...
that many.
You don't run the risk of getting smacked for super effective.
Yeah.
Really. So, definite winner. 100%. Definitely a winner.
So after that, I really want to talk about the... if we go all the way to the top to my favorite color here, I want to skip the Venu and go actually to the Ivysaur.
Okay. Let's talk about this Ivysaur,
Let's talk about Summoning Aroma. So we have 1 green energy. Search your deck for up to 2 Pokemon.
Yep.
Brandon, what's missing?
The word basic?
There you go. There's no basic and there's no color.
Yeah, so you grab any Pokemon.
Any Pokemon of any kind. Reveal them, put them into your hand, shuffle your deck. So obviously this is an attack, so your turn would be ending, but like that's really good for just an Ivysaur for 1 energy.
Yeah, like if you're in a pinch, you can grab Crobat, you can grab Eldegoss.
That's so solid. You can go grab your Beaver. Your evolved Beaver. Yep. You can go grab any V-Star, V-Max, any evolved Poke, any stage. There's a lot of options here. So Ivysaur is actually a pretty... like Grotto.
Yeah.
Very, very good just as the middle stage.
100 HP, so it's not grabbable with a level ball.
It's not, but the fact that it is grabbable because it's grass from Grotto.
Yeah.
You can potentially search that way.
Good point.
There's a lot of other ways to get them out, obviously. But yeah, so let's talk about the other... So we're going to skip the Venusaur and goes to the Radiant Venusaur, and he's Green Frog. Look at how beautiful he is.
Dude. Okay, so I'm really excited about this one. Sunny Bloom, once at the end of your turn. Okay, so this is interesting. At the end of your turn, after you attack, you can use this ability. Draw cards until you have 4 in your hand. What do you make of that?
This is a mechanic that I've never heard of or seen, so this is really cool to me. It's really interesting. It's not overpowered, it doesn't seem. It's only... until you have 4 in your hand, so it's not draw 4.
Right.
It's just up to... So again, if you've got 4 or more, it doesn't do anything. So it's just a nice little bit of refill. You can still be attacking. You don't have to attack with this card. There's just so much to love about this. And, you know, pollen hazard's not the worst thing in the world because really it can pair really well with the Sneasler V.
Yeah.
So obviously he does 80 damage times the status effect.
Yeah.
So this being 3 right there, that's a lot of really good damage being burned, confused, and poisoned.
With a choice belt, I think you one-hit KO Galarian Moltres V.
Correct.
So you're hitting a sweet number with that 90. Even if you were not picking up that KO, you've got the poison and the burn. So
The fact that it's burn, confuse, and poison, it's a lot, especially, and it helps you deal with, it won't one-shot, but it'll two-shot the Miltank and the Decidueye.
Yep.
So it still fits that slot really well as a...
well, it should, between poison and burn, it'll KO
if they don't switch, correct.
Well, it'll KO the
Miltank just
not
from the status.
Decidueye, not the Decidueye.
So yeah, we do, correct. Thank you, actually. I forgot about that, because he's only 110.
110, yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, so we do one-shot the Miltank.
Yeah.
So, and then, it forces the Decidueye to swap out.
Yep. So, I'm going to give you my little analysis on Sunny Bloom.
Yep.
I think this is a more balanced version of Bibarel.
Yeah.
Like, I think the game needs more of this, drawing after you attack, because Bibarel, you can stack that ability and just keep drawing cards and put yourself in this crazy position where you kind of... Exactly. But with this, you get those cards after the fact, and you don't get to just keep playing your hand down. Like, I think this is a more balanced version of the Bibarel mechanic. What do you think?
Yeah, like, it definitely... I like the fact that it's... I like the fact that it is an option to refill your hand even when you're low. So what I'm saying here is, like, this will pair well. It's actually going to be overpowered because it can pair with the Bibarel. We play our hand down, then Bibarel, then play our hand down, then Bibarel, then play our hand down, then attack, then Sunny Bloom. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm thinking it's actually just going to be more broken.
All right, that's fair enough.
A whole
you make
third
a good point.
layer.
Yeah, you make a good point.
But what have we also seen on the ladder a bunch that our opponents have actually made mistakes is that if you get those double beavers out, people deck out quick.
Yeah, so yeah,
people
we have literally
run through decks.
Yeah, we have played games and recorded and posted us beating Bibarel teams who just rip through their deck.
Yeah.
So
after this one, I guess we'll finish up with the pandering of the three. We'll go to the Charizards.
Oh, yeah, great. So we got Radiant Charizard.
We got Radiant Charizard. Excited Heart. So this Pokemon's attack costs one less for one colorless energy less for each prize card that your opponent has taken. So this is a really good fire, like, single prize Moltres, basically, is what it is.
Yeah. So 250 damage Combustion Blast. During your next turn, you can't use Combustion Blast again. It's 5 energies.
But only 1 fire and 4 colorless. So again, depending on how many prize cards your opponent has taken, the later the game goes.
Yep.
This could potentially cost legitimately just 1 fire energy for 250 damage, and this could be a really... And he does have 10 more HP than the other 2 Radiants, and he does 250. Now, it's only once every other turn,
Right.
but that's still, like... That's really... Again, with a Choice Belt, now you're even one-hit KOing Arceus V-Star.
You know what I think? I think the best time to play this card would be when your opponent has 2 prize cards remaining. You can go out there and deal that 250 damage, potentially KO a V or a V-Star. They revenge kill your Radiant Charizard. They still have 1 prize card left. And then you have something on the bench, and you go take, and you maybe potentially KO. So you could potentially turn this into a 4-to-1 card swing.
Definitely,
if you play this card at the right time.
Yep.
And I don't think waiting until it's 1 energy is the play. I think you can get some play out of this much earlier.
Well, if they take 4 prize cards, it would be 1 energy. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. You and I are on the same page.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's exactly the combo you're talking about. So that would be minus the 4, so it would just be 1 fire energy.
Well. Oh, yeah. Okay, yep. No, yeah, you're better at mathing than me.
No, we're good. So, yeah, that's exactly the combo, is what you just described.
Yeah.
We'd be able to just blast them, and boom, there you go.
Yeah.
So I guess the last of these 2 right here, we'll talk about the actual evolution Charizard.
More Charizard pandering.
Burn Brightly. Now, I'm excited about this one.
This
is actually really cool.
This is super sick. Yep, so you got Burn Brightly. Each basic fire energy attached to your Pokemon provides 2 fire energy. You cannot apply more than 1 Burn Brightly ability at a time,
which is fine.
We've seen this before.
Yep.
We've seen this with Weezing.
Yep.
Right.
Galarian Weezing, the good old top hat.
We've actually seen this with a Venusaur card back in the day. I think it was a Sun and Moon potentially. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me because I didn't play then. But we did see that in Expanded one time. There's a Venusaur that does the same thing. So this is really exciting for fire decks. I think
This is going to be so good for a lot of decks. And again, He's actually not a bad attacker also. Again, he can easily take care of the mill tank, and obviously being fire type, he just murder about 4 Decidueye. So
Yeah.
really, really good for the fact that he's a single prize also. So there's all winning here. It's just all upsides. Now, it is 3 retreat cost, but again, most of the time I'm assuming he's not going to be in the active.
Right.
So...
But, you know, if you do attack, you discard all fire energy. That's actually only 2 fire energy.
Correct.
So it's just a matter of how do you...
with Magma Basin.
Right.
So...
It's just a matter of how do you get them out of the active, because you can't... There's no way to play 2 fire energies to an active spot.
Correct.
In the current state of standard.
Yep.
So, yeah, that Charizard's looking really good for fire decks.
Yeah, so next up we're going to talk about a couple of, I guess, gimmicky types for these winners. They're really good, but it's gimmicks. So we're going to be in the water Pokemon, and we're going to be talking about Slowbro.
Yep, so I'll give you guys the art. Well, can I move this? Yep, there we go. I'll give you the art, and we'll talk about the translation here.
So you're a big fan of Slowbro. Kanto
Love
Rep.
Slowbro. Yep.
Good artwork.
Yep. So,
Spinning Tackle's alright, but it's not really what we're here for.
Nope. We're here for Twilight Flash for 2 colorless energy. This attack can only be used if your opponent has 1 prize card remaining. Take 2 prize cards.
So again, this could pair well with the Charizard that we just talked about.
Yeah.
The Radiant Charizard, where like this could fit into that deck because it's colorless. So like, there's so much potential here. This Slowbro is insane. What do you think about this? What do you think? Am I overhyping it?
No, you're not.
Or is there a place in the meta?
You know what I like and don't like about this is I like that they did this. I hate this mechanic of just taking prize cards because we've seen a couple different Guzzlord cards who can do this, and I hate that. However, I love that they put it on Slowbro. Dude, like, no, why? Why did they put this on Slowbro?
And it's Twilight Flash. Like, it has no... But hey, we'll take those.
Yeah,
we'll take those.
You may see some play. I'm not sure how much play that's going to see, but...
So next up, we're going to go down to a black card. Good old Raticate.
Yes, sir.
So Galarian Rattata and Galarian Raticate are finally getting prints. This is the first time we're getting prints of them since 8th gen cards have started.
Yeah.
One of the last Galar forms, I think, if not the last one to actually get a card.
Is this a Alolan? Isn't this a Alolan?
Oh, a Alolan.
Yeah,
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. And
you had my brain racked. I was like, wait.
We are in Galar. Sorry.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've seen the Alolan Raticate in Galar.
Yeah.
So yeah, chase up, search your deck for a card, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck. Not bad for 1 dark energy.
No.
But what are we here for? We're here for Super Fang.
Yep. Put damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon until its remaining HP is 10. Just like... So, it's False Swipe.
Click, 10 HP.
It's False Swipe.
It's insane. And then next turn, there's just easy cleanup.
Yep.
And this is a single prize card. 120 HP. Not bad for a stupid little rat.
The fun thing about this is the retreat cost is the same as the attack cost for Super Fang. So you can retreat out. Yeah, there's no how do I retreat?
Yeah, it's just it's 3 colorless, so it can fit into a lot of this is good. This is a very good card. And it's good artwork. He looks good.
Yeah, I like it. Alright, last winner?
Oh baby. I want to pair this. I think kind of goes like peanut butter with jelly. This is going to pair perfectly with Machamp VMAX.
Yeah.
Because it also is a weakness attacker.
Yes.
It spreads damage the way we want to. The Pupitar and Larvitar here spread damage to your bench the way we want to obviously make Machamp VMAX pop off. So Crash Rampage for 2 colorless energy. This dark Tyranitar does 10 damage times the number of damage for each damage counter on all of our side's benched Pokemon.
But how are we going to get the damage counters on our bench Pokemon, Justin?
Well, if you're not just face tanking a bunch of stuff and switching out, you're going to be using the Earthquake. So it's 2 dark and 2 colorless energy. A little bit of hefty cost, but it is single price, so we can twin energy this.
Right.
180 damage. This attack also does 20 damage to each of our benched Pokemon. So this not only turns on the Crash Rampage, this also puts damage counters on any of our bench, which means now Machamp VMAX is doing extra damage for only 2 energy. So It's going to be a real good dual purpose. I'm probably going to replace, maybe just put one Hoopa V, maybe still in there, but I might just remove the Hoopa V altogether. But I do like the fact that Hoopa V hits for Psychic too. But the point is, this is a great Dark attacker to hit those Psychics, which is obviously weak. What Machamp VMAX is weak to is purple.
Yeah, I find this pretty interesting. Like, you could even take it a step further. This would require more setup, but you could use the Weezing that we were just talking about to make it only cost you 2 energy.
Yeah, if you wanted to go more of like a Tyranitar deck.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like, you could make
yeah.
like maybe a single prize T-Tar deck or something.
Definitely, because 180 is the sweet spot.
Yeah.
180 is the sweet spot, because 180 by itself, no choice belt, no nothing. You're one-shotting Mew.
Exactly.
So, and then 180 for everything else. With the choice belt, you're hitting those sweet spots for where you need. You can add things like the, whether you're doing Zigzagoon, which is a dark poke, and then you can go up to Obstagoon if you want, which is more spreading damage to finish off people. You can do the Drizzile line with quick shooting.
Yep.
Or you can do the new Radiant Blastoise to finish people off on the bench.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of ways you can do extra damage to make that 180 and actually make him carry.
Right. So, Justin, we talked about the cards that we think are great. Let's talk about some cards that we think are not so great.
Ooh, this is the glass half empty.
Yeah, that's the point of the this is
the
the point of the
loser
part
side.
we've reached.
So, Brandon, I'm gonna let you start off here.
Let's start with the first part of this. Dragonite V.
So this is one of your top 3 favorites of all time. If we gushed up so much in the news section because of how well Dragonite did in Unite with Hyper Beam,
Yes.
and now there's this one with Hyper Beam and only does 60 damage. What's ridiculous? What's going on here?
Why does Hyper Beam only do 60 damage?
They gave us, for people that are listening, they gave us a brand new Dragonite V, which the old Dragonite V is from Evolving Skies.
Yeah, let me grab my. You speak to the people. I'm gonna grab my card.
And the old Dragonite V is really, 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 really good. And he's not going to be rotating out, knock on wood, if and when the rotation happens. So the fact that they're giving us a new Dragonite V is like, okay, what do we got here? And the first thing we see is Hyper Beam for only 60 damage, and then discard an energy attached to your opponent's active. So,
Like, cool, cute, whatever.
Whatever. It's for 1 blue and 1 yellow. And then the other attack here is Buster Tail, so Dragon Tail, 160 damage. That's it. So it's really lame. What do we got for the old V in comparison?
So the old V, you were correct. So for the old V, we have
What's the HP?
230.
So 230
So
for
it's
both.
the same. I don't know if you'll actually like.
That's all right.
Because we're shrunk.
Yeah, that's all right.
The old Dragonite V, Shred for 2 colorless. It's 50, and the attack is not affected by opponent's effects. So like I could hit.
Yeah, Shred.
Right.
Miltank.
Miltank. I could hit.
Yep.
And then for 3 energy, 2 water and 1 lightning.
Yep.
Dragon Gale, 250 damage.
250
Does
for 3 energy.
20 to each of my benched Pokemon.
Which we take those. You know what I mean? Because you're knocking out basically everything. With a choice belt, you're knocking out Arceus V-Star. You're literally killing every V-Star in the game with a choice belt.
Yep.
So it's really good damage for only 3 energy. 2 blues, 1 yellow. Blue energy is really, really good to accelerate here with things like Melanie. So,
Yep.
And we also have things in the game like the Flaffy.
Flaffy, Arceus.
Arceus. The Cotton Lift.
Yep.
There's a lot of good ways to accelerate energy to him right now, so it's not that hard. So far, the old V is better.
Yes.
Okay.
Now let's talk about the V Star. So, you've got 2 things here. First,
280 HP is really good.
280 is good. You have Ultimate Impact for a water, a lightning, and 2 colorless. It does 250 damage during the next turn. You cannot use Ultimate Impact again.
So it does. So for 1 more energy,
It's the same damage.
same damage and a way worse effect.
Yes. Way worse.
And you have to evolve.
And you have to evolve. So now here's the other thing. Here's the thing.
Where's the upside here?
This is the upside. I'll give you the upside right now.
So far it looks like the original Dragonite V is still better than even the V-Star.
The original Dragonite V can knock out this Dragonite V
In
Star.
1 shot!
So here's the bright side of Dragonite V Star.
Star Dragon.
Star Dragon.
So this is an attack for 1 colorless energy. What do we got? What do you get for Star Dragon?
Look at the top 12 cards of your deck. You may attach any lightning and water you find there and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. Then shuffle your remaining cards into your deck. So, although this has...
It's a lot of cards to search through. 12 is a lot.
Although this has upside, it also has a downside. It's an attack.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an ability that you can just use and then swing.
It's definitely not Lilligant V-Star.
So every turn, it takes multiple turns to set this up. Like, you need to have an insane hand and insane turns to get a turn 2 Dragonite V-Star ready to swing for 250.
Yeah. And you might as well just go with the Dragonite V.
Yeah, at that point, you don't have to...
You give up less.
No, it's the same. Because V-Stars give up 2.
Oh, give up 2. Oh, yeah.
You were thinking VMAX.
Yep.
Sorry, but anyway.
Yeah. No, so, again, obviously this is why we're putting in the quote-unquote losers category. It's because there's already a Dragonite in the card game, in the standard format, that's not going to be rotating out if and when we get a rotation that does this but better.
Yeah. So, it is sad to see my boy not...
But you got Mewtwo.
I got Mewtwo. I can't have it all.
Can't have it all.
So, let's move on to the next loser.
So, the next loser, we're going to be going over to near and dear to most of our hearts because he is a Hoenn rep, and Doug is especially a big fan of this. Good old Homer Simpson himself, the Slacking V.
It was literally under the Dragonite. Yeah.
So, this dude is normal. He is basic. He's 230, nice and bulky. He does 260 damage, no side effect, for 4 white energy. So, really, really, really good. But he's lazy.
He is lazy. He has a really lazy ability where you cannot attack if you have 6, 4, or 2 prize cards remaining.
So you can only attack if you have odd numbers.
Yeah.
So you have to, like, sacrifice... Or you have to, and it's not even something that you can sacrifice. It's dependent on your opponent. That's why it's bad. This is why it's in a loser category. Because if your opponent doesn't have a card that gives an odd number of prizes, like a 3 or a 1,
right?
What if they only have V's up at the moment? You don't have the option. It's not your fault.
Yep.
And if you haven't taken any prize cards at all, he can't swing. So it's just... Oh, it's so... I would be okay with it if he could swing every other turn, because that's what it is in the game.
Yeah.
Do that. But this is bad. This is really bad.
I'll say one thing. So you want the upside? Here's the upside. Path to the Peak exists. Path to the Peak could turn off this ability.
So you play your own path, and then you just swing for 260 every
yourself.
Turn. Let's go! Yeah, I never even thought about Path to the Peak. That's hilarious.
Yeah, path yourself. So there's the
upside.
Yep.
So I guess then he's a winner? Then he's a total winner. Let's do it.
He's an absolute winner in that case.
So let's talk about the other half of the coin. So obviously this split release here is for Pokemon Go. The two, I think it might be up top. The two,
his artist goals got him split kind of
what's it called? Like staple, like cheerleaders or mascots.
The promo Pokemon that you're here for.
Melmetal VMAX. So we have Mewtwo V-Star and then Melmetal VMAX.
Yep.
So VMAXs are definitely not going away anytime soon.
Yep.
But this dude, so what do we got here? What do you think about this? Because we put him in the loser category. Why is he here? Like 330 VMAX Steel. What do we got here?
So this is kind of an interesting one because he's kind of borderline, right? This whole thing.
It's not like he's bad, but
So for 3 steel energy, you've got G-Max Juggernaut, base of 160. This attack does 60 more for each extra steel energy attached to this Pokemon, but you cannot add more than 120 damage. So
it's only 5 energy.
So it
total.
takes 5 energy to do 280, which is great damage.
It's great damage. But with the Alga, you take 5 energy to do 220 and then get a whole other turn.
Which at that point, his other move is stacked out beyond belief
and
because
it does
you got 5 energy on it.
Times 40. So again, it's not that Melmetal VMAX is bad. It's just that comparatively in standard right now, there's already a steel type poke that does this, but more and better.
And this has a retreat cost of 4.
Yeah. So there's just no... And he's prize cards of 3.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's just no reason practically to run this over the Dialga because there's no room for both.
Literally, the only reason you run this is because you don't have the money. You don't have the packs.
Or just because you just want to run because you just like Melmetal. But from a competitive standpoint, in my opinion, Dialga exists, so why would you take this?
Way better.
So
do you want the upside?
Yeah. He's not bad.
The art is cool.
The art's really cool.
The art's actually sick.
Yeah. He's definitely not bad. He's just not as good comparatively to what's in the meta.
Yeah.
He's coming in a little bit below here. So now we're going to talk about the one Kanto starter.
Oh, no.
That got shafted. 4 retreat costs.
That's bad.
4 energy to swing.
For 130. When Charizard swings for 2 for 170.
Yeah, and he has the worst ability in the game. It's a coin flip.
Yep. Once during your turn, you may flip a coin. If heads, switch one of your opponent's benched Pokemon with their active Pokemon. And the new active Pokemon is now asleep in
So it's a gust that we control, and we sleep in poison the new one, but coin flip dependent. No. I'm just...
Yep.
And it's an evolution. This is not a Radiant. Like,
So,
why would you ever give up the ability... Or why would you ever, like, you have to spend all these resources to evolve all the way to Venusaur just to coin flip and, I didn't get it.
Yeah. It's not great. It's I'm sad that they did my boy like this, but do you want the upside?
They stack?
Yes, it doesn't say you can only use this ability.
So you just put a bunch and just keep flipping and trying. Come on!
Yeah, so like that's the upside.
Yeah.
And you could pair it with Glimwood Tangle so you can reflip once per.
Yeah.
You could reflip once per. Well, I don't know. Can you use...
I think it's an attack.
I don't think you can...
I think Glimwood is an attack. But anyways, yeah, either way, it's...
Yeah, but it's a lot of setup. Getting 2 Venusaurs, that's a lot to ask.
That's a lot.
That's a lot to ask. Because you know you're only going to... You're going to have...
And these aren't even your attackers, so like what do you... Yeah, so...
Yeah, like, so you're going to dedicate 8 card slots, a 3/3/2 line to a coin flip mechanic? Not likely.
So the other big loser is actually another green card right next to him.
Yeah, I think this is our final loser. Alolan Executor V.
I'm actually not a fan of this artwork. There's got a promo artwork coming out later that's really, really good.
Yeah.
The promo artwork looks sweet. And hopefully, knock on wood, we get... This thing is primed. The rules, if you read it, it's primed to get an evolution. Whether it be V-Star or V-Max, it's primed to get an evolution down the road.
Right.
Like, which we've already seen for something like Sneasler V is out, and we know a V-Star exists in Japan.
Oh, we're seeing it with Dragonite right now, too.
Yes. So, we could definitely see an evolution of Tripod. Alolan Executor V... 240. Super thick.
Yes.
3 retreat cost. He's green, obviously. What do we got here, Brandon? Growing Tail.
Flip a coin. If heads, search your deck for up to 5 energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like.
That sounds familiar.
Mr. Kingler.
Yeah, Mr. Bubble Kingler. So this could evolve and just have that without the coin flip, just like Kingler VMAX.
Now, if that happens, we're in business
there
here. We're in
now
business.
We're cooking.
Yeah, we're talking
that with Gardenia, and oh my goodness, we're just so much grass acceleration, right?
Yep, yeah.
And then Head Swing. So for 3 colorless energy, this attack does 30 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for each grass energy attached to this Alolan Executor V card. So you could just stack a bunch of grass energy. Again, with Growing Tail, you could potentially, put it on himself.
Yep.
Because it's any way you like. So the more energy he has, the more damage it is, times 30, and you swing to any poke, so you can snipe with it. So it's not bad. But do you see what I mean? Like, when I read this and we talk about the Kingler, I'm like, oh... If and when we get an evolution, if they Kinglerify
this could be crazy.
This could be the new Lilligant. This could be insane. This could be the top dog for grass if and when we get an Alolan Executor.
I agree.
V evolution.
You could
again, whether it's VMAX or V-Star.
That would be insane because
think about the potential here.
Gardenia plus this, you could put 7 grass energies into play in one turn.
And what 7 times 3? 21?
Yeah.
So 210 damage that you're sniping.
Yeah, and you don't even have to do it for the snipe. Like if this is a VMAX and it just does a bunch of...
It just attacks to the front.
But you could set up 2 Pokemon on the bench. You could set up 2
But this will be really good for sniping other setup benches like beavers and stuff.
Right. As it is now, not good.
Yeah, he's sort of a loser right now, but all the potential's here.
Why is he showing us his butt?
Yeah, I don't want to see the other promo art. He's actually like headbutting forward. It looks really good.
Okay.
He'll get a promo set later, potentially in the summer.
So why don't I pull up Mewtwo while we wrap up the podcast?
Yeah, let's do the closing here. So that was the Pokemon Go sort of set. Again, we do have another video on the channel where we talk about the brand, all the different Pokemon Go stuff. There's like 2 or 3 videos where we... So between this podcast and all of those, you get all sorts of content for us talking about these cards and just what we think about the meta in TCG. TCG is rapidly in the past 6 months become one of our new staple content. It's not going anywhere. It is one of the 3 staples now on the channel.
Incredibly fun. The collecting aspect is awesome.
Yeah, so it's staying here for forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a really good podcast. I'm really happy for this set to be coming out. Like I said, this podcast comes out a few days before. We got a few more days to go.
Yeah, like a week
about
before.
A week.
Yeah.
July 1st is when it comes out. We did this specifically beforehand because otherwise it would be like a week and a half afterwards.
Maybe too late.
And we'd already have a bunch of content on the channel in terms of battles and decks and stuff like that.
Yep.
So we did it a little preemptively on purpose.
It's like a hype up podcast.
Yeah. Next podcast, stay tuned because I think right now on the dockets we're talking about doing our 8th gen sort of reflection closing because we're going into 9th gen. We're getting really excited for Scarlet and Violet to be coming out, and we want to do this type of stuff before Worlds.
Yeah.
Because once Worlds hits, it's just going to be a cavalcade of stuff. We have Digimon Survive coming out. Xenoblade 3 is coming out the same day. We have Pokemon Worlds, which we already talked about, as 3 formats that are just so much coverage.
Yeah.
And then before we know it, it's going to be Gen 9. So we're going to
the hype train for Gen 9. By the time September rolls around,
we're going to have some news by then, probably of more of the Pokedex and or the gameplay. Probably going to have the starters by then. So we're going to do probably in the summer before Worlds and all this stuff gets kicked off. At the peak of the roller coaster, before we go down that hill, we're going to be doing our Gen 8 wrap-up for Sword and Shield. We're going to be talking about the game itself on the Switch, what it was like for us coming back from our hiatus, where we didn't play competitive pokes for a couple years, coming back and back into Smogon, rekindling our, not our friendship, but like our Pokemon side of our everything in our group. And then we actually, it's actually what kickstarted us starting this channel, PMC.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about all the pros, the cons, the timers. Talk about everything.
We'll talk about the timers.
Oh yeah, 8th gen. So stay tuned next time. If you're listening to us on Spotify, definitely give us a review. Follow us here. If you're watching us on YouTube, go check us out on Spotify. Vice versa, check us out on YouTube. Pokemon Masters Council. We also have an Instagram and Facebook and all of that good stuff. Check us out on all of our social media so you stay up to date whenever we put out new news vids or anything like that.
Yeah. Well said, man. Couldn't have said it better myself. Let's get out of here. All right, until next time, I've been Zero.
And I'm Justin.
Council's adjourned.